So, collaborations are a lot of fun. It depends on who you're working with, of course, but sometimes you have the luck of getting to work with some absolutely amazing artists. This always makes you want to work that much harder to make something great, so as to feel like you're pulling your weight. Hopefully I succeeded. Hey there trainers, welcome to the open seas and islands of Pokemon Cavern and Pokemon Coast, set in the Voyard Region. A pirate-inspired place filled with new Pokemon, a new battle gimmick, gym leaders, an Elite Four, a champion, and a bunch of other cool stuff besides. I'll have some explanatory links in the description so you can see the available work so far. There's like a ton of great folks involved. I'll be your captain for this here video though, so sit back and relax while we take a look at my current submissions. Also, if you could be sure to swab the deck with a like, load a sub into the portside cannon and fire it this way, and make sure to keep things ship-shape down in the comments. Remember trainer, you are welcome here. So the rules are fairly simple, just follow the prompts. The ones I snagged are these two. Cloud Axolotl, flying type. This Pokemon is extremely rare and shy. When found though, these playful floating Pokemon love to jump around and do flips in the air, showing off to their peers. And Flower Crab, grass and ground. Commonly found hidden in the sand, all that can be seen of this Pokemon is the flower either on top of or shape of shell. When people and Pokemon go to observe the flower, this crab Pokemon launches out and attacks. This Pokemon has a gender differentiation of color. Males are brighter colors, while females are darker colors. Females tend to be more aggressive than males, though I did deviate from this prompt a bit for this entry. I hope that's okay. I think it's okay. Let me know if you think it's okay down in the comments. Anyway, let's start by looking at these cloudy axolotls. I had a few design concerns that I wanted to talk about in regards to these. First of all, I wanted it to look distinct from but still related to the other axolotl-themed mons. Secondly, I didn't want it to look like Swablu, because it'd honestly be kind of easy for a cloudy two-stage Pokemon to look like Swablu, and we don't want that. I decided to go for a color palette that resembled clouds at dawn and dusk. Purples, light blues, light yellows, oranges. I think these are some of the prettiest times of day. I imagine traveling around these cool, pirate-inspired islands at those times of day and running into these little guys. Animals active at dawn and dusk are called crepuscular, which is a weirdly gross word. Nocturnal, diurnal, crepuscular? Why? Ew. Anyway, I went with a general bean kind of a shape. A little squishy tadpole guy, but with arms and legs like baby axolotls have. One thing about axolotls too is that they always kind of look like they're smiling from the front, and they have those cute little dot eyes. That just kind of leads into a look of empty-headedness, you know? Like having your head in the clouds. I replaced the fins on the tail and the gills with clouds and gave the whole thing a clouds at sunset kind of color scheme. There are a few blue spots too, with an almost prismatic effect to them. I figure being that they travel around in the clouds, they probably love the rain as well, so a little blue would kind of make that raindrop connection a little more present. And here we have Nimpole, the Cloud Axolotl Pokemon. Nimpole are primarily active at dawn and dusk and have colors to reflect that, blending in with the purples and oranges of sunrise and sunset. They feed on high-flying bug types and live in heavy, water-rich clouds above Voyard seas. As a pure flying type, it has the ability Cloud 9 and the hidden ability Aerialate. Nimpole is a portmanteau of Nimbus, which is a type of cloud, and Pole, as in tadpole. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the evolved form. Now, we're getting into more of an axolotl body shape. That long, kind of salamanderish body type with a bigger tail and more pronounced gills. I kept the expression really similar, along with the colors. I really liked them, so I didn't want to change them at all. The tail is a big, floofy cloud, but the gills extend outward in these long, kind of wispy shapes. I imagine they trail behind the creature as it floats and flies, kind of like steam trails from jets. I'm actually really happy with the pose for this fella. And here we have Stratolotl, the Cloud Axolotl Pokemon. Stratolotl rarely, if ever, touch the ground. They're generally slow-moving, but will pick up the pace to impress desired partners with acrobatic feats or to escape airborne predators. They not only eat bug types, but any birds that find themselves lost in thick cloud cover are potential prey as well. Types and abilities remain the same. I went with a color reversal for the shinies here. Stratolotl, again, it's a combo of Stratus Clouds and Axolotl. Alrighty, on to the next prompt. The flower crab. One thing I had to keep in mind is that Voyard's grass starter is based on the coconut crab. 2 grass-type crabs in one region? A challenge, to be sure. I didn't want mine to look too similar to the already established line. Flowers and coconuts on their own, though, are fairly different types of plant. That gave me a lot to work with, plus there's a difference in color between males and females of the flower crab Pokemon baked into the prompt. Thinking of different kinds of flowers I could use, I went with the snapdragon. For anyone unfamiliar, these oddly shaped flowers are something I was fascinated by as a kid. If you squeeze on the sides of the flower, it opens and closes like a little mouth, and that little mouth looks a little bit like a dragon, hence the name. I thought it could also make for a pretty cool crab claw, and that's where I deviated a little bit from the prompt. As it's worded, the shell should be a flower or in the shape of a flower. Because I knew the claws were going to be super busy to look at, I didn't want to make the shell of the crab super complicated, and being that it's part ground type, I decided to do a little dirt camouflage on top, so that it looks like a patch of earth with these big flowers popping out while it's concealed. I also wanted to give it a nice happy little face just to counterpoint the starter's more neutral expression. Legs are flower bud inspired. Maybe if it loses a claw, the closest leg to that claw opens up in a bloom and it grows a new leg instead of replacing the giant claw from scratch. You know, I didn't design it with that in mind, but it's canon now. That's exactly what it does. Cool. And here we have Crabloom, the flowering crab Pokemon. Crabloom hide themselves beneath the sand, extending their flower-like claws to attract attention from pollinators who then find themselves snapped up and dragged down as a meal. Males tend to be lighter, warmer colors, and females tend to skew darker and cooler. They decorate their shells with piles of sand, even when above ground, to make submersion quicker, and will use the sand as a weapon if cornered. So as mentioned, it's a grass and ground type. We've got Chlorophyll as an ability with Seed Sower as the hidden ability. I think that works. Crab Bloom is just a portmanteau of Crab and Bloom. Flowers, crabs, it works. And that's what I've got for you this time, Buccaneers. But I'm not done with my journey in Voyard. I have at least one more design setting sail over the horizon, but that's for a future video. See, Voyard has a new gimmick, and I wanted to be sure to take a shot at doing at least one Mon specific to it. I'm looking forward to sharing it with you, but till then, take care, trainers. Bye.